Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. There's another paid request, this time for Smack It Down. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or topics, randomness, out of blueness, re-reviews, commentaries, pretty much anything, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 2001 film How High. Now, this is a film I'd heard of, starring Method Man, Redman. There actually was a sequel to this made not too long ago. And How High is one of those films that got a cult classic following, especially on home video. I don't know how big of a following. Obviously, enough people know about Kevin Smith when he did that Jay and Silent Bob reboot. He actually had Redman and Method Man to reference them because, hey, stoner comedy, stoner comedy. Granted, I think Kevin Smith should have tried Cheech and Chong. I think that would be more appropriate, but hey, they went for How High. And I know a lot of people liked the film. I thought it was okay, but it was nothing that I would say I loved. It's definitely silly. It's definitely goofy. Method Man and Redman, they did fine for what they needed to do. In fact, Redman I thought was actually pretty decent in this. Method Man was kind of just, fine. But Redman seemed like he had a little bit more spark, a little bit more invested in his character. Not dramatic was, but just kind of embracing a bit more of the silly comedic aspect of it. Just his mannerisms. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it seemed like Redman was a little bit more into the film than Method Man, but again, they were fine for what they needed to do. Like I said, it's very silly, goofy plot. They're both doing their thing. Method Man has a whole room full of different kinds of weed that he makes. And one day they meet and they bond over one has the weed, one has the way to smoke the weed, and they start becoming friends. Meanwhile, one of, I think, Method Man's buddies goes out on a date and has like a little weird patch on his forehead. And as the guy says, looks like a skid mark. A girl sees him, and of course she walks the fuck out. Which I guess I don't blame the girl. And in kind of pretty horrific fashion for a comedy, he just burned up, goes out a window. You find out later he got fucking hit by a car. I'm like, Jesus. This is more horrific than some fucking horror films I've seen. But then they get the guy's ashes, and Method Man uses it as fertilizer for a new batch of weed, which then, when smoked, they see the ghost of their friend. Or at least Method Man's friend. And the ghost gives him and Redman, who again the two of them have just become friends, all the answers for, it's not the SATs, they call it the THCs. Again, another motif for weed. And they pass, and then they get into Harvard. And it's pretty much them dealing with Harvard. And you do have a lot of recognizable people. You have Tracy Morgan, because one of the characters early on is trying to watch Field of Dreams, but only Tracy Morgan is in the fake version of Field of Dreams. He's as one of the baseball players in the field. Fred Willard, may he rest in peace. Which is funny, he had a small part in another stoner comedy, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, at the beginning, where Cal Penn is in the job interview and Fred Willard is talking to him. He's been in a lot of other stuff too, I think, Best in Show, among many others. Good character actor. Sally's passed away. He's a guy that helped, hey, come on to Harvard, things work out well. God, I'm trying to think of her name. Her last name is Voorhees. I remember that. Lark Voorhees? She was on the TV show Saved by the Bell. She was the one that Screech always had a crush on. Dustin Diamond always had a crush and always tried to hit on her, and she always rebuffed him and says, "Get away." Trying to remember her first name. I think it's Lark Voorhees. It's hard to remember because Lark is not a typical name. But she's the girl that Method Man has a crush on, and ultimately they'll get together. Let's see. Tracy Walter. I've seen him pop up quite a few times. He was Arnold's sidekick in Conan the Destroyer. He's the guy that kept swallowing diamonds and stuff to hide them for later. He was the guy, Bob, who worked for the Joker in the 1989 Batman. He's been a lot of other stuff. He's there as a teacher. Mike Epps appears more so in the third act as a pimp. Let's see, who else was in it? There's another guy I'm trying to remember. There's Hector Elizondo. Weird enough, in this movie, from this movie, Leviathan, he's in this movie as a teacher, as a coach, I should say. And like the plot's pretty silly. It's them trying to deal with college. Method Man is really into botany because of weed, and ultimately he makes I guess a truth serum drug, like a truth serum version of weed, which is utilized later. Oh yeah, Jeffrey Jones, the sick pedophile from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And he's a sick pedo in real life. He's in it. Thankfully not Lon. Just fuck him as a human being. But he plays like a vice president. Thankfully he only appears a teeny bit. Because the guy can suck my... No, I don't want him to suck my dick. I don't want it anywhere near my dick, my balls, my ass. I don't want it near my body. Because if he was, I would fucking make his heart stop beating. Yeah, this tough talk, but you know what? Pedos are pedos, and they deserve a gunshot to the face. That's just my opinion and fact. Is if you're a pedo, you deserve a gunshot to the face. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're not 6 feet under, you're 6 miles under. Bury them with lava. But anyway, that's just another thing, another day. But I don't know, I didn't love the film. And I'm trying to sit here like why I didn't love the film. I mean, the thing with comedies, it depends like how often did you laugh. I didn't laugh because I've never smoked weed. People, for some reason, think I have. Maybe it's the way I look, the way I act. I have never done it. Never have. Honestly, I've never done it because I'd be too paranoid to try it. But never have. Never have. But I liked a lot of stoner comedies throughout the years. It's, in fact, if I did a list of my top, I don't know, 30 favorite movies, a lot of them would be stoner comedies. Whether it be Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, Cheech and Chong's Next Movie, whether it be Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, whether it be, what's the other, there was another movie I'm thinking of. I don't know if I guess The Big Lebowski kind of fits in there a little bit. Some would say no. Some of the Jay and Silent Bob movies, other than Reboot, but I like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I liked, Clerks, Mallrats, those characters of Jay and Silent Bob. I don't know why, because again, I've never smoked weed, but that stuff, Friday, that's a hilarious movie. That's definitely up there as a favorite, top 30 favorite comedies. Friday, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke, Cheech and Chong Next Movie. I love all those films. Maybe because with weed, you just have this kind of low-key, usually, this vibe, relaxed vibe, and It's kind of irreverent. Kind of, let's see what happens, and yeah, the potential to be silly and goofy, but not too hyper to be too annoying. I don't know what it is. But yeah, here, like I said, it was humorous at times, to be fair. I'm trying to think. Like when they're in Black History Month and the teacher willingly says, yes, please, walk out on me like your brothers. Yep, move. You, don't be an Uncle Tom. You guys should leave. You guys should. Yes. Power to the brothers. Yeah, it's like he's willingly asking people, yeah, you should be leaving. What are you doing here? That was a nice kind of, not quite what I expected to happen. So that was a different change of pace. Let's see. Another one was Hector Elizondo as the coach. You feel like he's going to yell at Redman because he tossed to this uptight asshole. But then secretly, Hector Elizondo leans in and goes, I love that joke you made on him. I love what you said to him. I always wanted to say that too. But his parents are, pretty much dickheads. And so I like that Hector Elizondo, he wasn't just a curmudgeon coach. He actually was, he liked what Redman did. I thought that was kind of, and I liked Hector Elizondo as an actor. But yeah, it's one of those things where, some of the supporting characters, like you have the one guy who is always trying to get into a fraternity, so he's always doing these dares. He's in the middle of doing these dares. And then you have this Asian guy that's very, very stereotypical. Like, holy shit. It would be like, imagine having a stoner comedy where the black guy always has like a watermelon or a bucket of chicken. This with the Asian guy is kind of like the way he talks and the way he acts. Well, the way he acts is like he's trying to be very black, but the way he talks, it is very stereotypical. I was surprised there wasn't a behind it. Fucking London Don Jr. And even the ending got a bit silly because there's a big uptight party and Method Man, Redman, there's a cannon and they make it so that it's America's first Bond, and then they get the whole party high, and like someone's seen the ghost of, was it Benjamin Franklin? Again, it's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, this is a bit much. And this comes from a guy that likes Cheech and Chong's next movie that has fucking alien spaceships at the end. Even I'm going, this is a bit, This is the thing, a lot of them are a bit out there. I mean, Harold and Kumar go to White House, so they're on a fucking, what, tiger? They're... You get some really crazy shit in some of these movies. Dude, Where's My Car? That especially goes on. But I don't know, those I guess I just got more laughs, more fun, more genuine hilarity. Like Friday. I would say Friday to me is a much funnier stoner comedy than this one. This one, I don't know if it's just Method Man and Redman are okay, but I don't think they're dynamic enough compared to, again, the other teams like Cheech and Chong, Harold and Kumar, that stuff. They just, to me, are not as dynamically interesting or energetic, or they're serviceable, they're fine, but they're not stuff that I don't think they really elevated the film. I think they served the film serviceably fine. But I can see why they didn't immediately get sequels like Friday got next Friday, and then Friday after next. Harold Kumar got 2 sequels. I can see how High didn't until like 10 years later. And even then, I don't think the 2 stars were in it. I could be wrong. And like they do stuff, like one point, because the dean, I forget the actor's name, but the dean doesn't like them, so one prank they do is they feed birds stuff that make them explode. So there's a whole scene of birds just exploding and white bird shit flying everywhere, and I went, oh my god, what am I watching, man? So I don't hate the film. If you like silly, goofy, irreverent stoner comedies, a lot of people like it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a time waster. But I didn't find it as funny as other people did. I guess it's just me. There's just other stoner comedies I prefer and I like more. I just laughed more. I just didn't laugh a whole lot with this movie. I didn't. It wasn't a hard sit through. It just like kind of that reaction. It was there. It was there. That's the hard thing with reviewing a comedy. Because whatever flaws it may have in direction or cinematography or whatever, if it makes you laugh at the end of the day, to me that means it's a successful comedy. If it makes you laugh, it makes you laugh. Not the production value or everything else in between don't matter. That's his primary job. And to me, a lot of people really love it and laugh their asses off at it. To me, I'm like, I'll just go rewatch Friday. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.